hit the record button, because that's what we do on a webinar. Fantastic. It's great to have you here, and thank you for signing up and wanting to be a part of this learning today. And I know many of you will be listening to the recording after it's gone live. And I know that many of you are going to want to re-listen to this recording after it's gone live. So my name's Jo, and you know that because you signed up to my things and stuff, which is pretty cool. So this webinar today, well, it's taking place on a webinar platform, but what I want to do is share with you some insights and some direct lessons about finding your marketing mojo. I've noticed so much conversation and questions, and I've got lots of people coming to me on consultations and coaching, just so confused and feeling like the to-do list when it comes to marketing is just astronomical, and it just overwhelms and takes control of everything else. And I get that because I've been there and I've done that. So I want to share with you how I learnt to cut out the confusion and actually do what works, and to stop feeling like I'm not doing enough, and to actually get bums on seats. Now, if you're offended by me saying bums on seats, then I'm really sorry, because I'm probably going to say it a lot today. And what I mean by that is finding the people that you need inside your practice that you can help, that you can provide intervention to, and who will exchange your expertise for money. So we're actually looking at the things that we need to do to get the people we need and we want into our businesses. So that's what I'm going to help us sort out today, and find out that there's a couple of big global stages in your business that I'm going to help you understand what you should be focusing on. But please understand that this is general information. It's not going to be absolutely specific to your specific situation at this specific time. But at the end of the webinar today, there's an opportunity to ask some questions, and we'll also get through on how you can spend more time with me if that's something you would like to do. Okay, here we go. Slide number 2. When you think about marketing your practice, or when you hear the word marketing, what types of words come up for you? Do you think it's hard? Do you think it's confusing? Are you overwhelmed? Do you think it's something that's tacky, unprofessional, maybe even unethical? When you think about marketing, is it something that makes you cringe and go, oh my God, please don't make that happen to me. I don't want to be a part of that. What types of words come up for you? What types of feelings come up for you? I know in the beginning people would be saying marketing to me, and I just dismiss it, because if I don't understand something, I dismiss it and pretend that it's not there, because, you know, that's a smart way of living your life. And then I would look at what other people were doing, and I'd go, I don't even get what you're saying, and I never want anyone to think of me the way I think about you right now. Whole heap of judgment that we place on ourselves and we expect from our peers when it comes to our marketing. But what if we could make it fun, and what if we made it something that we looked forward to, something that was easy and something that was almost effortless? And I know you're sitting there going, yeah, right, Jo, that's not going to happen. Well, you know, wait until I get to the end of the presentation, and I think you might have a different opinion. So what's getting in our way? Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but there's a lot of stuff that gets in our way. For a start, our own mindset and biases get in our way. The way we think about marketing, the way we think about the word, what comes up for us when we hear the word marketing. If we've got a negative mindset, or if we think that it's an unethical activity, or if we think it's something that will force us into a place of being rejected, then that sort of mindset and bias isn't going to help us. And we all know that if we have a negative thought about an activity, we're less likely to do it. So if it's something that's evil, bad, horrible, makes us feel icky on the inside, then we're just not going to do it. So it stands to reason that if we fear, hate, despise, cringe at marketing, then we're just not going to want to do it, which is really unhelpful. So apart from our own heads getting in the way, which is a really big part of the problem, we've also got this massive knowledge and skill gap. Now, I know there's so many coaches out here banging on about it, but we really didn't go to university or to college or to graduate school to learn how to run a private practice. We went there to learn the knowledge and skills to become awesome at helping our clients achieve the goals that we know we can help them achieve. So we have this massive skills and knowledge gap. And you know what? An MBA isn't going to fill that knowledge and skills gap for you. There's also an incredible lack of focus. So in all the conversations that I read and see and questions being asked of me, there's just this incredible lack of focus. Everybody seems to want to know what the next hack is, what's the cheapest or the free way to get marketing. Let me tell you, if you're going to completely focus on free and cheap, then you're going to get free and cheap clients. And don't get excited about free and cheap clients because they might make you feel good for a month, but then you won't want them anymore. So apart from this incredible lack of focus, there is this massive, massive lack of consistency. And that happens when we get busy. So we spend all this time and effort and we run around like chooks without heads or hamsters in a hamster wheel until we get what we need or until we run out of money. And then the consistency stops. And I will show you in a little while how consistency is actually ruining, lack of consistency rather, is ruining your brand. So today we're going to cut through all of this stuff because I'm going to explain to you how marketing does not have to be gross, tacky, or about gimme, gimme, gimme. Sorry, I just started singing the ABBA song in my head. I shall stop now. I'm going to explain how as a clinician you're actually a born marketer and you actually just don't know it yet. And if you reacted to that, stay with me because this is actually going to revolutionize you in your private practice. And I'm going to explain how to figure out where to put your time and efforts to grow your practice based on where you're at right now. Again, there'll be two big camps that we're talking about and you'll need to, use your critical reasoning skills to find out which part of the camp you're in. Okay, so I'm assuming that not everybody on this call will know who I am, so let me just spend a little bit of time explaining that. So my name's Jo Muirhead. I am a qualified rehabilitation counsellor and I'm speaking to you today from the Blue Mountains about an hour west of Sydney. I have been a rehab counsellor for 20 years. Yes, I know I graduated in my teens. I look awesome. Ha ha, old joke. And I love being a rehab counsellor. So I have an allied health degree. It's based in science, so similar to physiotherapists, occupational therapists. It's kind of in that same allied health discipline style of things. But my expertise is helping people adjust to force change in their life, and I've chosen to specialise in helping people return to work following injury, illness and trauma. Now, I've been in my own private practice now for 8 years, and about 6 years ago, I started mentoring and coaching allied health professionals just like you to help grow a practice that's profitable, that's sustainable, that's successful, but basically fits the lifestyle that you actually want. Now, before I was in business for myself, because I once vowed I would never be in business for myself because I watched my father have a heart attack at 37 being self-employed. So before that, I grew a small boutique practice. Actually, I did that a couple of times and helped turn those into multi-million-dollar revenue or turnover practices. And then I helped another organisation go from a very small state-based 12 full-time equivalent staff to over 20 full-time equivalent staff over the entire nation. So I've done big practices, I've done small practices, I know what works for me, I know the way I like to do my work. But I've had exposure to both, so I feel like I can help people work out, do you want a big practice? Do you want a small practice? How do we do multi-clinicians? How do we just do sole trader stuff? So that's cool. But how did I do this? Well, I actually did it without a master's in business administration. I actually did it by channeling what we are now calling my super secret introverted clinician powers into a marketing mindset that feels good and works. It may surprise you to learn that I'm actually an introvert, and I am. I have just learned when to turn on my extroverted parts of my personality or the behaviours that are extroverted to help me do the things I need to do. But I can tell you after this call today, I will want to go and be by myself for a good 20 minutes and shut out the rest of the world. So if you're introvert and you think that that's the thing that's stopping you from getting your marketing, let me tell you what I'm going to share with you today is going to make you so happy. Okay, so I'm going to help you find your marketing mojo. So let's move on with that, shall we? Okay, but I want to get one thing really clear, and this may be one of the most important slides that you're going to see today. So marketing your practice is not optional, it's actually a necessity. So unless you're the only person in your niche servicing a very select group of people, put simply, unless you have no competition, which might mean that there's no demand but that's a whole different issue. You're going to have to market your practice to help people understand why they should choose you. That means why they should care about you, listen to you, and then eventually choose you out of all the other choices and options that they could go with. This is why marketing is not optional. It's a necessity. Please don't delude yourself into thinking that your good work will speak for itself. That's not how it works, and especially not how it works when we're talking to people about health, mental health, nasty health events. Let's face it, many of our clients, regardless of whether it's a mental health condition or a lifestyle disease or a heart attack or a hip replacement, they don't want to be advertising their health event to the rest of the world. It gets a little bit harder for people with spinal cord injuries who now live in wheelchairs because you can't help but observe that. So if you think that the only way you need to market your practice is by doing good work because that will speak for yourself, you're deluded and it's not happening anymore. That is not the way people make buying decisions. So marketing requires three things. You need to know who you are, you need to know who you serve, and most importantly, you need to be able to talk to those you serve in a way that makes sense to them. So if you haven't got those three things sorted, then please can we have another conversation, because nothing is going to work until you've got those three foundational things sorted. Because that's where every effective marketing plan starts. And I'm serious. It's not in a Google AdWord, because if you don't know who you're talking to and you don't know how to talk to them in a way that makes sense to them, then your Google AdWord isn't going to work, and you're going to spend a lot of money on a Google AdWord that doesn't work, and then you get frustrated and say that Google AdWords don't work. So the tactic or the implementation of your knowledge, which is who you are, who you serve, and how to talk to them, forms the foundation of everything. It'll form all your website copy, all your printed marketing material, your business cards, your Facebook ads, your Facebook posts, your Pinterest pages, you name it, it is the thing that starts everything. If you don't get those foundations sorted, then we've got a massive problem. Okay, that was my rant. So I want to talk to you a little bit about what I mean when I say talk to people in a way that they can understand you. So when you don't speak the right language, what I mean is you're basically speaking a different language to what your clients are. You see, you're in the middle of your therapeutic process for your clients. When you have a prospective client come into you, you already know what needs to be done. But they're way back at -20 on a linear scale. If you're starting at zero when you go, you've got this problem and I need to do these things, they're way back at -20 going, I don't even realize my problem is a significant problem, and I certainly don't know if I can trust you yet. That's what I see happening, is people rush straight into intervention in their marketing. People aren't ready for intervention and we scare them off. So when we don't speak the same language, no one will choose us. We only end up speaking in clinician speak. So clients actually don't really care if you're going to CBT them. They just need to know that whatever strategy you use is going to work. The only time the CBT stuff or whatever ACT or whatever technique that you use becomes, whoa, look what happens. Only time that becomes really useful is when we're talking to peers. So if we can have a peer-to-peer discussion around what tactic or technique or foundational philosophy we use. So clinician speak is the language of our peers. It's the language of our clinical notes. It's the language of our reports. It's not the language of our marketing unless we are speaking to peers. So clinician speak to prospective clients is as helpful as your website copy being written in Greek and your ideal client only being able to read English. Got that? I thought that was pretty clever. Okay. So what I want to help you understand now is we're talking about conversations. We're actually talking about having a conversation with someone, whether it's online or offline. It's a conversation. So getting clear on your marketing mojo is realizing that you actually know how to have a conversation. So tick, you've got that one sorted. Okay, So this is not about shoving some marketing message down a person's throat or yelling and screaming about how friggin' amazing you are. I get that you're amazing, but most people are skeptical and they won't want to know how amazing you are until they know you, until they like you, until they trust you. So all great marketing begins with having conversations and building relationships. It is the thing that is common. So if it's about having a conversation and building a relationship, how is that tacky? How is that icky? I think the ickiness starts to come when we are being incongruent with ourselves and put on this mask of what marketing is supposed to be and how it's supposed to be done. But if you're not doing it in a way that's genuine and authentic to you, then no wonder it's going to feel icky and sleazy and salesy and all those other words that we use to describe something we don't want to do. So I'm going to say it again. The funny thing is that building relationships is kind of what we do every day with all of our clients. We do it at home. We do it on the way to work. We do it with the barista who makes us a coffee. How awesome is it when the barista who makes your coffee gets your name right? I feel like $1 million when the barista says, "Hey Joe, I've got your double Mac waiting for you." It's like, oh, I am so awesome. This person thinks I'm worth remembering a name. Building relationships is what we do. So we're just going to use that superpower because that's what we're going to take into our marketing. Relationship building. Who knew that that was going to be your superpower? You already know how to build genuine trust, rapport, and connection. You wouldn't be on this webinar if you didn't know how to do that. You know how to build relationships, and you already know how to meet your clients where they're at. These are the foundations of good marketing. So let's channel your skills from the couch or the clinic to outside the therapy room so we can help your practice to grow. Why do we make it so hard for ourselves? Let's use skills that we've already mastered and take these outside our clinic and let these skills help us grow our practice. This practice building stuff isn't easy. Working with the clients we work with is not easy. That's why not everyone does it. So don't make your marketing more difficult than it needs to be. So where do we need to start? Well, I'm going to do this a little bit contrarian and I'm going to share with you some mistakes, because I know many of us are making these mistakes, and I think if I am kind of blatant about it, then it'll help you grasp the gravity of the information I'm giving. So mistake number one is, before trying to master one-to-many types of marketing, we need to master one-to-one, because it's a conversation, and that is one of the key elements that's getting lost. It is so easy to be lured in by claims of how building a passive income stream, such as information, courses, and products, can set you free in your practice and make you money while you asleep. Now, the truth is, building a passive income stream does not work if you're looking to get paying clients in the door and to do it fast. You're conflicted and you're confusing your messages. It takes most business owners years to develop and work out a profitable passive income stream. So if you've been doing it for a week and you feel like you're failing, you haven't been doing it long enough. That's if people ever succeed at all. So yes, while a website is important, you need a website. And an online presence matters. Yes, you need an online presence. But hey, if you don't have a website, I'm sure you can do it with LinkedIn, and LinkedIn's free. Spending all your time, effort, and energy on your online presence is not the fastest way to get clients, and it's not something you really need to worry about until you've got a referral flow happening. In the beginning, your website needs to be the place that people come to check you out after they've had a conversation with you, not this is how they find you and then they call you up. So we need to flip that on its head. The same is extra true for your passive income or your multiple income streams. Oh, I've done it again. If you don't have consistent clients and you don't have your online presence and platform sorted, then good luck getting any online sales. So again, if you're trying to do two things at once and you haven't nailed how to do this marketing thing from one to one before you take it to one to many. So if you've got a practice and you're doing one-to-one clinicians, the next the one-to-one clinical sessions. The next best step is to learn how to speak to 2 people and then a small group of people. The same principles are true when we go to our marketing message. It's not enough to create an awesome product and throw it up on your website thinking that everyone will buy it, because you actually need to market the bejesus out of that product so people will know that you actually have something to buy. So here's what actually works. The fastest way to revenue for a new practice or a practice that isn't full is to focus your efforts on getting bums on seats. So you're going to be wondering, how do we get these bums on seats? And again, one-to-one is what makes the most sense here, because we're returning to our relationship building superpowers. And now we're going to add to that by having strategic, genuine conversations with people who are in the position to refer to you. The impact of this type of marketing effort is huge. The results typically pay off after a couple of weeks. So compare that to blogging, SEO tactics, AdWords, Facebook posting, all of the shiny stuff that sounds nice, that keeps you safe behind a screen. But most of that, all of that, in fact, unless you've got about $1,000 a month to pump through your Google AdWords, it's such a long, long haul. You don't realize how long that online stuff takes. Sorry. So again, when you go to purely online marketing, you're speaking one person to many. And yes, that's important, but it's a skill. You've got to learn it. It's time that we take a step back and learn to have a real conversation with the real people that we want to have in our practice. And let's face it, in the beginning, when we're starting a private practice, we are usually time rich and cash poor. So it's better to use the time wisely than use money you don't actually have. So this is where building referral partner strategies helps you to fill your practice. Now, when you've got a full practice, you become time poor. And unfortunately, I read too often that you're still cash poor, but that really shouldn't be the case. You need to then nurture relationships, start building or refining your online presence through content marketing, etc. But you know what? I've coached a lot of people to really solid 6-figure practices, and by then I'm talking about $250,000 a year in revenue, who just focus on the relationship building one-to-one strategy. And I know that that's how you can take your practice from $0 to $250,000 in 12 months. I've done it myself. I've done it several times for clients now. So all that money that we're spending on all of that stuff, I don't really think that it's that necessary. So if you're transitioning out of salaried employment or out of a new role, or you're finishing college, you're still doing something full-time and you want to start your private practice. So you guys have got the double whammy of being cash poor and time poor. So you need to become extremely proficient at building strategic relationships that help you leave study or leave a full-time job and have clients waiting for you. That's what I always say to anyone who wants to work with me, who are in a full-time job. We need 6 weeks to get you to leave your job and walk out of that job into paying clients. 6 weeks. I know. 6 weeks. So growing a practice using online marketing is a completely new skill set, and it's a really slow burn. But one of the biggest failures I see of networking and building referral partnerships is that people go into these relationships with the attitude of gimme, gimme, gimme. So there's this guy in a networking group that my husband goes to, and I've heard this story so many times because I hang out with my husband and some of his mates that go to this networking group. So every time this man walks through the door, the room quite literally groans. This person apparently comes into the room. He always arrives late and he always leaves early. So right now we already know he's terribly shy. But he comes across, you won't see how this comes across. This person comes into the room in a whirlwind of energy, and he actually places himself in conversations. He just interrupts people. He just goes and stands in between people. And apparently he just gives you a business card without any conversation. Doesn't introduce himself, doesn't ask about who you are, doesn't even ask about the weather or whether you enjoyed the footy game on the weekend. Like, seriously, this is just rude. and it's terribly ineffective. My guess is that he is having a very little return on investment on having those business cards printed because most of them are ending up in the bin. Now, what a friggin' waste. And while he is throwing his money in the bin, he is building a reputation. And it's not the reputation he wants to build, which is, hey, you need to meet this guy with the business card because he's awesome and he can help you. No, the reputation you're building is, oh no, here he comes. Please don't let him come over here. What can we do to make it? Maybe we should walk out of the room. Maybe we should turn our back on him. He's actually giving you the impression that he doesn't want to know you or talk to you. So referral relationships don't have to be built at a formal networking event either. No, 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 no. You don't have to be the next BNI person. In fact, for me, the best referral partners I now have never come from referral networking groups. In fact, I actually dropped out of all my formal networking groups about 5 years ago, so it took me 3 years to learn the lesson, people. And my business has continued to grow and thrive. You see, it's not about the networking group. It's not about the networking brand. It's not about how much they promise you. It's about the people you connect with. So to make the most out of any networking opportunity, if you're not paying attention, you want to listen to this. If you want to make the most out of any networking opportunity, blah, 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 blah. Let's have a drink of water. Okay, do this. Your goal is to meet 3 people. That's it, just 3. And you're going to have one quality conversation out of those 3 people you meet. Now, I can't tell you what that conversation should look like because it's going to be slightly different to everybody that's on this call. But I can tell you that you do not have to meet everyone in the room. Now, did I hear a lot of people just go, hallelujah? Because once I worked that out, I stopped trying to be Mrs. Friendly, I love everybody, which I don't do very well because it's very fake, and just went with the intention of these are the 3 people I want to meet and I want to have one really good quality conversation when I leave this room today. Sometimes it takes me 20 minutes and then I feel awesome because then I give myself permission to leave. How cool is that? Because, you know, I've already shared with you, lots of people kind of drain me. So if you don't need a formal networking group, then what do you need? Well, you need people you want to connect with, that you can add value to, who have access to your ideal clients. Then you build a relationship with them and help them understand why you are the person they need to send people to. It's a conversation that builds a relationship. And in a relationship, we all know that it's a two-way exchange, which actually means you also need to have something to offer. That's what I mean by you can't go with a give me, give me, give me attitude. You've got to go with an attitude of how can I help? How can I serve? So I'm just going to say this again. Before you try and tackle all of the automated this and nurture sequences that and content marketing this and SEO, before you spend money on your Facebook ads and Google AdWords, how about you make sure you know who you are, who you serve, and how to talk to these people in the way that makes sense to them. And one of the best ways for you to refine all of this marketing knowledge and skill is to practice where your skills are already honed. So practice in your relationship building space. So how about we get really good at building our one-on-one marketing skills so that we are using our time, money, and energy to the best use of our ability before we start learning new skills or marketing one-to-many. Okay. So now some of you are going to be going, but I tried it and it doesn't work. So let me keep going. So the second mistake is that people are having the wrong conversation with the wrong person. So like I said before, some of you are sitting there going, Joe, I've tried all of this and it doesn't work and I hate it. Okay, so if you turn up and throw a business card to somebody, then you're going to get new clients. Am I right? We know that that's not going to help. So if you turned up to these networking events or building relationships people with the right mindset. Now in the beginning, I was going with the gimme, gimme, gimme mindset, not the mindset of how I can help. I didn't have my message clear. I knew what I could do. I knew how to do clinical speak. I knew how I could serve clients, but I didn't know how to communicate this in a way that potential clients or referral sources could understand. So the foundations of marketing are knowing who you are, who you serve, and how to talk to them in a way that they can understand you. Now we've got to extend upon that and include our referral partners, because our referral partners might not necessarily be our paying clients. So we need to have a different conversation with them. So I was speaking the language of Joe, and I needed to be speaking the language of potential client, but in a way that a referral partner could connect the dots, could go, Joe helps people like Mary. Mary needs Joe. In all honesty, I could have been speaking Greek to a room full of Germans for all the good it was doing me. And I got this so wrong that at one networking event that I went to, the facilitator was so friggin' confused that he rudely and quite abruptly suggested I needed a whole new career. That's when I really worked out I wasn't speaking to the right people. The right people weren't in the room. I was having the completely wrong conversation. So we need to get with people who have access to our ideal clients. And that takes a little bit of time and energy. You can't have that conversation in the first 2 seconds. That's like going on a date and going, hey, babe, have you got clients for me? That's not how we build a relationship. This is not referral networking Tinder style. Okay. The awesome Natalie thought that was funny. It's not in the script that we worked out yesterday. So yeah, I do a lot of ad-libbing. She's enjoying it. I'm so grateful for her. So going back, we need to get clients who have access to our ideal clients. Otherwise, you're going to spend all this time, effort, and energy getting to know people who can't support your business growth. Then you'll start telling me that this strategy doesn't work. Now, you're having the wrong conversation if the person you are talking to cannot help your ideal clients find you. But again, in order to find out if the person in front of you can help you, you need to have a conversation and work out whether this is somebody you want to invest building a relationship with. So again, this is why we often think that marketing is icky, because people go in too quick with the, hey babe, have you got clients for me? You've got to spend time nurturing what's going on here, because this hey babe approach is what we actually fear. We actually really fear that we're going to say it or the person we're talking to is going to perceive that we've said it. So if you're having a conversation with somebody, then the natural progression is to build a relationship. A natural progression is in a relationship is how can we help each other? That's the point of what we're doing here. So if you're having the hey babe conversations, can I ask you to stop unless it's working for you? And then, permission to prove me wrong. But that's okay. Not the way I've built my practice, not the way I find most people want to get about their marketing. So to have the right conversation with the right person, again, means you know who you are, you know who you serve, and you know how to talk to potential referral sources about how they can recommend you or refer to you. You see, it's not just enough to be able to communicate with your ideal clients anymore. You need to be able to help your referral partners know how to refer to you too. And let me tell you, GPs do not know how to do this. They are so freaking busy, we've got to make it easy for them. Psychiatrists do not know how to do this. Orthopedic surgeons, neurologists, neurosurgeons, they do not know how to do this. We need to help people make referrals to us. It is obvious to us. It ain't obvious to them. Now, before you freak out, this actually isn't that hard. If you are building a relationship with someone, then you're getting to know them. If you're getting to know them, then you're getting insight in how they like to communicate, both verbally and non-verbally. So this is, again, where we use our secret superpowers, because we're the experts in human behavior. So however, before you go and complicate it all with diagnosis and this, that, and the other thing, how about we just ask the question? For example, I'm going to be talking to Sam, and I've had the conversation with Sam. And I'll go, hey, Sam, it's been great getting to know you today, and I have a clear understanding of the types of people you would be liked to be introduced to. But I've also heard that you could help introduce some people to me who could use my expertise. That's awesome. How can I help you with that? That is the most natural conversation for clinicians ever. How can I help you with that? Because as clinicians, we are problem solvers. And as clinicians, we generally don't like prescribing. We really like to help clients to be empowered, and we enjoy relationship. So let's use these skills. All right. So the mistake number 3 that I see is a lack of consistency, a lack of focus, and a lack of strategy. Now, I know that quite a few of you are going, Jo, that was really great. That was so fast. That's why you're getting the recording. If you want to listen to that conversation again, that's why you're getting the recording. So this is what tends to happen when we get busy, or when we get disappointed, or when we feel scared and unsafe, or when we feel like nothing we do is working, aka we feel like we're failing. There is a lack of consistency, a lack of focus, and a lack of strategy. Now, what happens when we approach relationship building without consistency, focus, and strategy? What actually happens to a relationship that we don't spend time on or invest in? So the same thing is going on here with our marketing. If we invest time and energy in building a relationship, then that relationship needs to be nurtured. And again, I want to teach a principle, not a checklist process. Every relationship you have with a referral partner is going to be different because every person is different. You know how to do this. This is what you do every single day. So your marketing, networking, and referral partnerships are going to be a little bit different to each other too. So with your secret superpower, you can work this out. You will be, in time, able to recognize just how much time and attention you need to give a relationship to see it bear the fruit that you are looking for. So when we are inconsistent or don't follow through, we break trust. And we all know that in relationships without trust, nothing good ever happens. This is true for offline and online marketing people. When we are inconsistent, when we don't follow through, we break trust. Now, please understand this. Trust is the true currency of any business. You might think it's an exchange of value, but this is the currency. So follow through with what you said you would do and be consistent. And in being consistent, you're going to have a plan, which means you're going to have focus, which means you're going to be strategic, which means you're going to be intentional and purposeful in the relationships you're building. And I'm here to tell you, you don't need 100 of these people in your world. In fact, you don't even need 20. Done right, all you need is 5. What if you could learn how to build powerful relationships, the kind that grow your practice? What if you could learn a unique approach and a system for making it work and have the accountability and support that you need to follow through and see the results? Yes, people, this is the part where I talk to you about how I can help. Even if you don't enroll, I hope that you've at least learned how to think about your marketing efforts differently, and the best place to spend your time, especially if you're starting out or needing to fill your practice or fill the clinicians in your practice, because I think I've given you some real great ideas on how you can be doing that. But if you're on this call and you're looking for a system that actually shows you how to channel your relationship building superpowers into an approach that will get you new clients through your doors, then I want to share with you about my program called My 5 Favorite People.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Awesomeness that is the 5 Favorite People Network Marketing That Works program. I'm just going to take you through a couple of slides and help clarify some questions that people have been sending me. So, what are you going to get in this program? In this program, you're going to get 12 weeks of training and coaching. Plus, you're going to get step-by-step instructions. Plus, you're going to get scripts and templates and cheat sheets that help you refine your message. You're going to get a revenue calculator, a progress tracker. You're going to have the opportunity to practice in a safe environment. You're going to have daily check-ins by me. That's brand new this year. There are 6 live group coaching calls with me and access to the recordings. And this is a small group community. There's only 15 people in the community. So you're going to get lots of support, encouragement, and lots of engagement. And the awesome thing is we have people from all over the world who join this program. So if you're awake, chances are someone else is also awake in your time zone who can help you. How cool is that? So what will you create? As a result of this program, you're going to create a hit list of key people who you want to get to know. You're going to create a well-crafted, authentic script for describing who you are and who you serve. That alone is worth the entire cost of this program. You're going to create an easy system to keep track of all of your contacts without the need for expensive CRM software. You're going to create confidence. You're going to create a resource library of tools and gifts and items that support your message and inspire your favorite people. You're going to create some magic, and you're going to create a steady stream of referrals right into your business. So some bonuses. This is the first time I'm offering bonuses as bonuses. So for the very first time ever, every single weekday, I am going to be in the group live on Facebook with Ask Me Anything. Yep, every single weekday. There'll be a guest interview with a previous participant, so you can see from someone who has done this course before. There will be a transcript of the previous call, of a previous group call. It was outstanding and so valuable in its content and wording. You're going to receive a copy of my workbook, From Clinician to Entrepreneur, Why Goal Setting Doesn't Always Work. And there is a money back guarantee. There are some conditions attached to that, and you can see those on the website. So they are awesome bonuses in this program. Your investment. There's two options for payment. Option one is the cash flow friendly monthly payment plan, which requires 3 payments of $328.90 Australian. Yes, I'm charging in Australian dollars. That's a total of $986.70 Australian. Why does that figure look so weird? Well, Australians, the GST is already included in that number for you. Option two, pay in full and save. That's a one payment of $836 Australian. That's it. Your investment's also going to require about 4 hours a week from you. Now, if you're going to turn up to every single Ask Me Everything every single day, plus the live calls, it's going to take you a little bit more than 4 hours. But if you can dedicate 4 hours a week to working through the content and implementing the content and coming to the live group coaching calls, you are going to maximize your benefit and your return on this investment. So I broke down for you what the approximate weekly spend would be for this program. So it's about $70 Australian for 12 weeks. And at this week's currency conversion rate average, that's about $55 American. Not bad money. So if you've got some questions, then I've probably got some answers. Email me, joe@joemuirhead.com. Are you ready to just take action and enroll? Well, there's a link here on the slide. The link, so you can just click on it, will be below this video. And I am really looking forward to helping 15 clinicians create a steady stream of referrals into their business, take charge of their earning capacity, and start to feel really friggin' awesome about who they are, who they serve, and how we share that message with the world.